Hi there, it's Marcus from Orthogonal Records here. Welcome on my YouTube channel. Today I want to show you a device by company Lake People, which is most famous for their headphone amps and converters nowadays. But back in the 1980s and 1990s, they also did some compressors. And one of those is the Lake People V4, which is actually some kind of clone of an 1176. I was lucky to get my hands onto the serial number 2 on the used market, and actually this device is a dual mono unit, so there are two 1176 compressors in it, and you can also link it to use it in stereo mode. So let's see how the device looks like. Okay, now here you have the Lake People V4. It's actually called de-esser because it has a de-essing mode via the flick of this switch here. But to be honest, I didn't check the de-essing mode up to now. I just used it as a 1176 substitute. Now, as you can see, Lake People did something similar API does now with the 500 rack. They made small modules and fitted them into a frame. Here it's actually a 1 rack unit height 19-inch frame, and you could also get a 3 rack unit frame with vertical alignment of these modules, where you could fit more modules, of course. Now, as far as the controls are concerned, you have an input, an output. You can choose the ratio. What you cannot do here is the famous all buttons mode, because it's a rotary switch, as you can see. You have attack and release or decay, how it's called here. And you also have, of course, a gain reduction meter. And here is a switch to link both units to stereo mode. Okay, so I've prepared a project here where I want to show you the Lake People V4 on a snare drum. Now, for a snare drum, I would normally do the following. I would use the Acoustica Audio Sand, which is an input stage of an SSL console. Then, if it's necessary, Soundradix drum leveler to even out the drum hits a little bit without resorting to too much compression. Then there's the channel EQ from the SSL console, the Acoustica Audio Sand EQ. I normally EQ into the compressor in order to round off the harsh frequencies a little bit. And then on the snare drum I would do compression with an 1176 followed by an LA2A, which is here the IK Multimedia T-Rex series, the black 76 and the white 2A. Now let's hear how the snare drum top and bottom mic sound like with the plugins inserted. Here we go. Okay, and now let's see what the difference is when using the hardware. Okay, so I guess you can hear that the hardware is able to add a kind of depth to the snare drum hits without using more reverb. As far as the settings are concerned, I tried my best to set the plugin and the hardware as close as possible. So both are doing like 3 to 5 dB gain reduction with the ratio 8:1, and attack and release set so that they match closely, as close as possible, obviously. Here you can see what the LPV4 is set to, and I'm going to show you how the plugin and the hardware is reacting to the input signal as far as gain reduction is concerned. Here we go. Here you have gain reduction meter on the LPV4, where you can see we have kind of 5 dB gain reduction. And if we switch to the T-Rex, it's closely the same, so maybe it's a little less, 4 dB of gain reduction, but as I said, I tried to match them as close as possible. Okay, so now let's see how that sounds for the whole drum set. I'm gonna start with the plugin and then switch to the hardware. That's the hardware now, and let's go back to the plugin. I think it's easy to hear that also for the whole drum set you get that kind of 3D effect, which is not present, if you ask me, in the plugin. Okay, I hope this short comparison was interesting for you. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, please ask them in the comments section. I really like to hear your opinions, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel as there is more material to follow. Thanks, and have a nice day.